Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I'm so excited to have on a almost 31-year-old from Kincardine, Ontario, Canada, a 41-year-old from Sanford, Florida, USA. One of them is a Class A Pga Pro and was the managing director of golf at Belmore Golf Club. And rumor has it, he is one of the best dancers and chefs in Bruce County. But he's never had a cook-off or dance-off with me. The other, a staple and legend with the University of Oklahoma Sooners, where she ran amok with 7 top 10 finishes, won the Big 12 team title, and made 3 NCAA national appearances, and also swung the sticks in pro with LPGA Symmetra Tour, Cactus Tour, and WGA Tour, and was the head women's golf coach at NAIA Friends University. And they are now the owners of the Shed's favorite golf course, the Ainsdale Golf Course. Welcome to the Shed, Taylor and Charles, or Chuck Candler.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for zooming to the Shed.
Of course.
What an introduction.
That was so good.
Oh, it's like my 160th time, so I've had a lot of practice.
Experience.
But I get into how we know each other. I would say
Yeah.
the first thing would be that you are my son's and soon-to-be daughter's golf coaches.
Yes. They're
Yeah.
awesome.
And you guys really have started a junior, like a kids camp there. Eh? There used to not be anything like that. You guys have a lot of kids coming out there.
Tons.
It's good. Yeah. Gotta grow the game. So
How many do you got coming this summer?
we have 5 different sessions, and they're all sold out. So I don't know, we're probably upwards of 100 or so,
Yeah.
maxed out. So
Used to do it in 3 big groups, and we
Yeah,
both
okay.
did it and had other coaches, and it was like 30 kids at a time, 3 times a summer. It was like, no thanks. So
Well-
now we do it more.
Yeah.
We do more of them with
Yeah.
less at a time,
It's
which,
probably- well, it is
you know,
better
pick
though.
your poison, I guess. But
Yeah,
no,
well,
it's
then
good.
you get to have a little more time with it,
One-
right?
More
Yeah.
one-on-one time, yeah.
Yeah, it's not such a circus. It's the same as running a hockey practice.
Yeah.
When you get 40 kids on the ice, it's a mess.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
And the other way we know each other is we're about to have a fantastic time June 25th at your golf course, the
Yeah.
inaugural Two Ales and Hockey Tales golf tournament.
I love it. I'm so
Beauty.
excited.
We got at least 4 holes filled so far.
4 holes.
Long way to go. We got 4
Okay.
foursomes registered so far, but long way to go, right?
Yeah. June.
And Roy's Garage is going to be playing. So would you guys recommend they play inside or outside if it's nice weather?
Maybe half and half. You never know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they were curious where to set up, and they're a rock band, you know, so
I feel like
could be a bit loud.
Nice. I think outside would be
Yeah,
nice.
no rain, probably
Yeah.
patio. That'd be where most of the people be hanging out.
Well,
Let's get it
folks,
bumping.
register at Ales Hockey Tales,
Do it.
aleshockeytales.com. $150 for the day. That's with the band, roast beef dinner. So, Chuck, would you be cooking that? Are you still getting
Yes.
behind the kitchen?
Yes, I will be. Yes.
That is all him.
Oh boy, a lot of pressure.
And the team.
Oh gosh, yeah, you don't want me. It's all him.
Well, I can't wait, and thanks for letting me host it there. Hopefully everybody makes a day of it and comes from wherever you are, Kincardine, Ripley, Elmira, wherever the
Yeah.
hell in the world you live, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm hoping for. And some of the guys that are confirmed, one of the foursomes, you were your former employees,
Oh, yeah.
Garrett McFadden and Ethan Skinner, right?
Oh,
Beauty.
beauty.
Yeah,
That's
they're
gotta
in.
bring some signups. Come on now.
So Garrett's working for us again this summer. I guess he's gonna need
So
that day
does he
off.
need that day off? then?
He's booked that off officially.
Oh, gotcha.
We'll throw that
Gotcha.
in the request book.
Yeah, mark him off. Is Blair Pollock going to be working there again?
No,
No,
he's not back. No.
Jeez, eh?
So
he's farming now.
yeah, he's too,
might help. Maybe the alcohol won't go missing now, eh? Just kidding,
Yeah.
Blair. But yeah, Colby's already mentioned a few times. Come high school, he wants in with you guys. He wants a job.
Yeah.
He's stud.
Yeah,
Good
so
swing.
we'll start him.
That's how I started. That was my high school job. Was always at the golf course. I was the
Yeah,
the
same.
grounds crew guy though.
Yeah.
I'm not clean
Yeah.
cut enough for the pro house. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, so and Chuck, speaking of cooking, when we first met, I think we discussed, I think it was like during all the baloney that I was gonna come in. We were gonna make soup together.
I
Get to
know, we
each
still
other.
have to do that.
Oh,
Yeah, we never did that, but now I have you in my shed, so now we'll get to know each other.
Yeah.
So then,
Perfect.
then we can make the soup together. We'll know each other.
We're not going anywhere. We're still do it.
Yeah, oh yeah. We're
Hey,
right
where's the
around the
soup?
corner, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, folks, for the people that come to Kincardine June 25th, the golf course is right around the corner. It's beautiful. And then straight down the road from there is one of the most beautiful beaches in Ontario. So if you're wondering what you're going to do, there's lots to do here, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, another way we know each other.
Oh gosh.
Derek Rieger.
Oh. That guy.
So co-worker with me at Superheat. Then he left, became a big time realtor. And
Yeah.
fun fact, after we locked this down, the next day, me and the old man went out for dinner and decided we were going to sell our rental house. And Derek was our first call. So he is listing our house on Friday, right by Boston
Nice.
Pizza, Highway 9 and 21, folks. So it's hitting the market Friday.
Nice.
Get your wallets out.
Yeah.
Lake Range Realty, Derek Rieger.
There you
Beautiful.
go.
Nice shout out. Yeah, I think that'd be a great sponsor for the tournament in June.
Hey,
Ooh.
yeah. And
saying.
actually, I just found out today that the Elmira Sugar Kings are going to donate a prize for the tournament.
There you go.
The winners are gonna win 4 of these jerseys too. So
Nice.
yeah,
Sweet.
we got prizes now, right?
Beautiful.
Like a real tournament.
The swag's coming out.
It's just rolling in.
Yeah. So hopefully people sign up.
Yeah.
They will. They
They
will.
will, yeah.
Okay, but here's a hockey tale then, because
Okay.
Derek's one of my favorite hockey tales. I don't know. I
Oh.
might have brought this up before the pod. I don't remember, but
Yeah.
one of my first ever games coming out of retirement when I was fat and disgusting, and I played for the Ripley Wolves. We played Petrolia, and it was probably the
Oh,
most
God.
hungover I've ever played hockey. But third period, we come back from down 4-1. I think I had 4 goals in the third period or something like that. I had 4 goals and we win it. And their captain's all pissed off after the game and he's going off. Chuck, do you
Oh my
remember this?
god. Yes.
That was me and Derek and
And my dad.
her dad.
Right.
it was.
And you guys were with a bunch of like minor hockey kids because I was dumbfounded by that guy's stupidity on Petrolia.
Yeah,
So
what a
he
donkey.
walks. So if people can picture this, he goes off like he's leaving the game because it's over. And then he walks down the hallway that's just like for the players and comes out the referee's door and has you guys basically sandwiched between his team and him in a tiny hallway, right?
Yeah.
And you guys had little kids because it was minor hockey night in Ripley.
Yeah.
And he started a fight with Derek in the crowd with all the kids around
Yeah.
wearing skates and full equipment.
Yeah.
I was
Pulls the,
watching
like-
it from the ice. It was nuts.
Yeah, pulls the like learn to skate, the little like red, PVC things down. He's like trying to. It's too much.
So
Yeah,
Chuck,
it
did you get
was
any
crazy.
swings in or not?
I didn't get any swings in. I was yanking everybody off Derek. I guess there's some history between Derek and Petrolia. Well, anybody on Ripley and Petrolia.
Well, I think anybody in the league in Petrolia, they're a bunch of
I was
donkeys.
still
Yeah.
new to the area.
So he's
I think
like,
this would have been like our first year or 2 here. So I don't know the history other than, everybody says Ripley hates Petrolia. So I'm literally just standing there on the ice, just watching, the end of the game, whatever. And next thing I know, this guy had come from the ref's door and he's on top of Derek. And then there was another guy
Another
that
guy was,
actually
like,
came from the bench and
on
he was
top of-
on top of Derek.
and then
right.
like my dad's in there. Just
Yeah.
like,
So he-
Just
oh.
mucking it up, eh?
Dennis is yelling at the bench. And I grabbed the guy that came second. Then I grab him off.
Well,
And next thing I know, actually, I turned and I looked at the ref's door and I saw Smitty. And I was like, okay, we're good now. Smitty's here.
yeah, well, I know a handful of guys that were in the crowd that night, and they were all not walking towards the event. They were
Yeah.
running towards it. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
those hockey players, like they don't really get Ripley. Everybody was in that
Yeah.
together. Every
Yeah.
person in the crowd would have defended you guys. And those fellas shouldn't have done that. And it was embarrassing. And they're never coming to my shed. That guy.
We're never coming to my shed.
No,
You're
that
never
guy
invited
is
to the shed.
like, you imagine starting a fight
No.
with a guy off the ice with children
No.
around in
No.
wearing hockey skates. He could have stepped on their feet.
Yeah.
And I
Go through the
couldn't
lobby
believe it.
and Yeah.
Yeah. he
For,
actually, like,
and
shoved the
senior
kid
A
in the
hockey,
shed.
way to go, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not coming to the shed.
Yeah, so that came up because I was talking to Derek about it this weekend. We were getting everything sorted, and he said that was one of your first hockey experiences, eh?
Oh, that was, yeah.
Welcome
Welcome to Canada.
So did you know much about hockey before you came here?
No, I mean, I'm a sports guy, so I mean, I've watched hockey forever. And actually,
We went to
here's a good hockey story for you from the guy that's on your podcast. It's probably the least qualified that you'll ever have.
Oh God.
But when I worked in Florida, I worked at a golf course called Stony Brook. My boss is from Waterford, Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
Biggest Wings fan you'll ever meet in your entire life. When they won the cup, we ordered Domino's pizza every night of the cup. You had to have the same toppings. Everybody sat in the same spot. You ate the same number of pizzas.
What if they lost a game?
Yeah.
They would switch it up?
No, you just left it the
So
same
like, what's
as
the
they won.
point?
It's like he
series.
just wanted to eat Domino's a
Yeah,
lot.
he's like,
Yeah, I mean, there's
he's
nothing
looking
wrong
for
with a good Domino's pizza.
endorsements.
Because I'll stick with one pregame meal until it doesn't
Yeah.
work, and then you switch.
Or it win the series. So
Okay,
they
go
win
ahead.
the cup. He says if they win the cup this year, we'll go immediately after they win and going downtown and getting a tattoo. So they freaking win. We got in the car at whatever time, 11, 12
Oh my
o'clock,
God,
drove
no.
downtown Orlando, and he got the freaking Wings tattoo on his arm.
No.
But better story, my first ever hockey game that I went to. So Scotty Bowman goes down to Florida during the winter, goes to Orlando, and he's a big golfer and he's a big car racer. Well, my boss is him and his brother are big gearheads. They race Novas and Mustangs, 10-second cars. And Scotty Bowman's big time into this. So Scotty Bowman got linked up with my boss. They played around the golf. And he said the only thing they talked about the whole time was cars. Like Mike said, I couldn't even talk to him about freaking hockey stories.
Really?
So he invited us up to when we were planning a trip to Michigan. So he invited us, gave us tickets. My first ever 2 hockey games were at the Joe, sitting in Scotty Bowman's seats.
Really?
Yeah.
That's all
Pretty
right.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
decent intro to hockey.
So that's
Yeah.
why I'm a Wings fan.
Yeah.
Not just people
Um,
helping people. If you own a golf
yeah.
course, you can help a lot of people.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
you go.
That's funny. Not like that guy. I don't know. I'm surprised Scotty Bowman's that into cars
I know,
because usually if
cars
you're
is
that
like-
passionate about hockey, it's hard to
Yeah.
focus on other stuff. But
Anything else? Yeah.
Yeah.
like you
No,
guys,
I
with
guess
golf,
he's a
baby.
big car guy and
Yeah,
golfer.
oh, come on now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's cool. That's your first game was in Michigan at a Red Wings game then.
Jeez.
That's the Joe.
Spoiled.
That's all right. The
Middle
Joe.
of a freaking blizzard. Florida boy goes up to Michigan
Oh,
and
God,
freaking
it's
freezes
probably
his ass off.
shorts.
Okay. Another way I know you guys.
Okay.
I did attend already one of your tournaments, a glow
Yes.
ball tournament
Let's go.
Yeah,
at
So
night in the
fun.
dark, right?
The most fun.
good stuff.
They're so fun. We're doing it again this year.
Yeah, that was a great time. Everybody's in the
Yeah.
right mindset. It was just like June 25th, right?
I know. It's like you're teeing off like right now. Look
Right.
outside. It's like
You guys
10
do a
o'clock.
lot of like events. Like you guys, when do you decide when you guys get to like have fun and with the festivities or join in?
With the festivities, you have to pick and choose, eh? Like
Yeah,
you can't do it all. So there's some things that we're required to like be, behind the scenes and stuff. It's just not possible for us to play, but we've played our fair share of global ball. It's fun. It's so fun. It's like hard not to. We're definitely going to this year. His brother and sister-in-law are coming up. So the 4 of us will go play, which will be super fun. So
I had a great time that night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So next question.
Okay.
We'll start with Taylor. So, or both of you. Where and what are you doing now? That's one of my questions to start.
ooh, where what are you doing now? Well, obviously
Because
we're
most
at-
people are all over the place, not around the corner, you know?
you know.
we're
this
2
is-
minutes away
We're
and
literally
we're
2 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
looking out the window at this.
At the
Is
snow.
cursing allowed on this podcast?
Oh, yeah. You can be whoever you want to be on here.
You can be who
Okay.
you want live.
Yeah,
So,
Because I have a bad mouth and I want to
No,
curse
don't.
badly at this weather
This
that we're
weather
experiencing.
sucks.
I'm done with the snow.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
garbage. Like it's watching it today come in, it's just like painful and because we're supposed to open Friday. But I mean, we'll have to see. So
You're gonna open Friday.
that was
We were planning on it,
is
but
the plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this will be gone tomorrow,
Yeah.
but
this is the
still,
time of
it's-
year where you still gotta walk, right? I'm not very good
Yeah.
at that.
No,
yeah,
I
me
know.
neither.
No, it's not.
I don't do
Uh,
walking.
I'm not
carry
very
clubs.
Yeah,
I
no.
can't juggle clubs and
I-
beer at the same time.
I
Bourbon
yeah.
for me, but
No, that's Derek mentioned you like your bourbon. Yeah, not.
yeah.
I'm not man enough for bourbon. Don't give me any on June 25th. Can't do it.
I'll sneak some in for you.
No, I don't want it.
Yeah, bourbon slushy. It'll ease you into it with a bourbon slushy.
And they're so good.
So we got sidetracked. What are you doing now? So you live around the corner and it's
Yeah,
snowing,
that's
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And you own the Ainsdale Golf Course.
We do. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really what we do.
Okay, so then you also have children that's another way, I guess, how we know each other.
Yeah.
You have children that go to the Ripley school like mine.
Yep. See,
What
there's
grades? What do you
actually
got? What do
these
you
all
got?
the
You got
time.
3 of them, right?
Three.
3 Rugrats. Yeah.
Lord.
Wyatt, our boy, who's going to be a shit kicking defenseman. He's 5 years old. He's 4 feet tall and 65 pounds at 5. So yeah, he'll be
So
on
he's
the
bigger than my
defensive
son
side of the
already.
ice. Yeah. Lexi's 4. She's a JKer, and then we have a 10-month-old, Andy Alice.
So you guys are busy
So-
enough.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And folks, they do everything at the golf course and have 3 kids.
I know.
So you do the cooking, you do the pro shop, you do everything, right? You guys, because I went in there to pay the deposit and you guys are there working on like renovations or whatever. And I'm like, geez, they got to work together all day out here.
all the time. All the
Yeah.
time.
That's
Especially in the off season though, we're together almost like more. Than
Probably,
once the season, honestly, like once the season starts, you're out on the course or cooking and stuff, and I'm giving lessons and everything. So you kind of like meet up at the end of the day, like who's going home to get the kids, and
Yeah.
make dinner and put them to bed, and then do it all over again. So we're not together as much. I feel like in the summer. I know it sounds weird, but
It's busier.
yeah. So
Who gets all into the grounds crew, Chuck? Don't you get into that too?
Yeah, I do. I do the kitchen. I take care of kitchen and maintenance, and she takes care of everything golf shop and back shop and lessons and.
And did you
Camp,
guys know
yeah.
it was going to work that way, or did you just like once you bought it and started doing the job, did you
Mhm.
guys know that was the way it was going to go?
I knew for damn sure I wasn't gonna be in the kitchen. Like he can boss me around and help, but like, oh man.
Really,
can't do it. Yeah, no. So that was a given.
No, I mean, it just kind of fell that way. Like obviously,
Yeah.
naturally.
Maintenance is
Yeah.
where your passion is, to be honest with you. So
I like cooking
So-
too. Did you have a passion for it?
Yeah, I love it. Like my mother's I pretty much learned everything from her. My brother's a chef or has been a chef. He's not currently working in culinary anymore, but he went to Le Cordon Bleu and worked for a lot of years under some pretty cool chefs and
Really?
and
He's
was
legit.
Chef for a lot of years. My mother is freaking best cook I know is my mother. So I guess I got it from her, and I enjoy doing like I have zero like
Training or whatever.
No,
Yeah.
no professional training at all, but I just enjoy doing it, and it's fun.
Okay. So then what's your staple dish? If you were going to whip up your favorite meal, what are you making?
I know what you're gonna say.
Hold on. Taylor, what's he going to say?
I think I know what she thinks I'm gonna say, but
Okay.
Oh, curveball.
Okay, say it, and I'll.
I would actually do like soul food if I could make my
Isn't that
favorite
like
dish.
cornbread?
cornbread. Yeah,
Good job.
like chicken fried
So,
steak.
That's what I was gonna say. Chicken fried steak.
Chicken fried steak.
That's
or
exactly
fried
what I was gonna
chicken.
say. That's what I was gonna say.
Maybe some grits and collard greens in there. some
See, this is
cornbread.
the shit I don't know about. I've never been
Oh.
down there really.
So
It's
just
incredible.
come over when you're gonna make him make soup and stuff. On the side, he'll also whip you up some
Oh,
soul food, and it's so good. Oh my god.
I'll tell you this. This will
I've
be
never been- I'm so curious.
a plug for our tournament. So our golf tournament that we do, Ainsdale Golf Classic, we run it for all minor sports in Kincardine and Ripley, and we do it every year. This year, have you ever seen Next Level Chef, the show that was just on whatever a couple of months ago with
Since
Chef
I've been coming out
Naisha?
to the shed, I haven't been turned on the TV much.
Yeah.
It's-
Gordon Ramsay has a show called Next Level Chef. The guy who finished in 4th, I think they started with whatever 20 chefs, and each show they eliminate somebody.
yeah.
The guy who finished 4th just missed getting into the finals, named Chef Kenny. He's coming up. He's from the South. He's from Mississippi. He's coming up on the Thursday before our Ainsdale Golf Classic this year. Friday night, we're going to do like a price fixed dinner where him and I are going to get in the kitchen and we're going to do a soul food menu.
You're gonna run
and
amok. Yeah.
reservations and whatnot. So that'll be your chance.
Holy
Not
moly.
just from me, but from him.
You're talking dirty to me,
chef.
Chuck.
Oh, it'll be awesome.
We're just getting to know each other. He's into it, buddy.
Oh,
No, that's the type, like when I was turning on the TV for years, I guess since I've been done hockey, it was cooking shows. That was mainly what I've been watching. That's what I'm into.
It's so entertaining too. Like
And it's interesting. They can teach you
is,
something
it's
really
good.
quick, right? And
Yeah.
it sticks with you. I remember the day the guy whipped up homemade salad dressings like that, and he explained it to me, and it was like something sweet, something sour, and
So
whatever.
You have,
yeah.
like crazy good salad dressings at your place or what?
Well, I'd
You
like
strike me as a
make it
guy who
right.
eats a lot of salad, Wally.
I don't.
Yeah.
I have not mixed one in a while, and I haven't made the dressing in a while, but I know how to do it.
Okay, so you're 2 minutes down the road. We'll be over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should come to the shed for real.
Some salad dressing.
Okay, so anyways, we got sidetracked again.
I know.
So chicken fried steak. That was my
Oh.
question. Okay, so
Beautiful.
it's a steak fried in chicken grease,
It's a steak that you pound it out and flatten it,
and
and then you milk butter and bread it, and then you fry it.
you bread it beef.
Oh yeah.
It's wildly good. It's
And then from the
I like
from
bread.
the-
I like
it
breaded
is like
meats.
a heart attack on a plate.
I've
from the
never
oil
had
from the oil
beef,
you
though.
fry it in, you make a white country gravy, and then you pour that over top of it. Oh, damn.
I told you to
Wait.
stop talking dirty, Chuck.
You just wait.
Probably not current hockey
You
players
just
want to
wait.
eat this as a pregame.
Oh yeah.
No, it's not the healthiest thing you'll ever eat, but
Probably not like for anyone active in the game
Oh,
currently.
well, yeah. So some of us live differently than others.
You know.
yeah.
That sounds
That's why we're
really
in the
good though.
shed.
The other thing I've always been curious about, which I don't think I've ever had, is grits. Grits.
Oh.
What is grits?
It's unbelievable.
It's
Just
like,
a corn byproduct. It's incredible. If you do it the right way too, butter, hot sauce, or you do like a shrimp and grits, or it's incredible.
it's like
Beautiful meal.
I don't know
Red-
what it is. I
like
still.
porridge almost.
Is-
I know
that's
you're
what I
gonna
was
say-
thinking. It's like
you're not
it's
gonna
like
say it's
gooey.
porridge, but yeah, kind of like you're an American trying to like describe it to us who don't have it here. So like cream of wheat, sort of, but like not.
No, it's
He's gonna
not
say
sweet.
no.
That's like
It's
oatmeal.
And this
No,
is
no,
where
It's
it's
not-
always been confusing to me, and people always talk about grits, and I'm like, I still don't get it.
Yeah.
But
They're good though.
someday. Okay.
I'll make you some grits.
Moving on is I wanted to plan a party after COVID, and obviously everything I've been doing in the shed has been to raise money for different charities and stuff. I owe Garrett McFadden one from a few months ago. I told him I was raising money for McFadden's movement, and I got sidetracked with a different charity because I needed to. And so Garrett, you're up. You get some of the golf course money for
There you
June
go.
25th, right?
Beauty.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
We'll figure out what to do with any other money we make, right? So see. We got to have people sign up though. Okay. Chuck, growing up in Sanford, Florida. Where in Florida is that?
Yeah.
It's a Orlando suburb.
Orlando suburb. So
Yeah.
always golf right from the start, or what other sports did you get into?
Never golfed. I'm a huge baseball nut. So baseball is probably, I like baseball, probably a bigger baseball fan than I am golf, actually, believe it or not.
Is that
Grew up
right?
playing ball and always played ball, never played golf. Actually, the first round of golf I ever played was after high school. We had a pretty competitive high school team. Our coach was very, very strict. He was the minor scout for the Angels. My brother was the real good baseball player. But anyway, after high school, I didn't play ball anymore. My first year in college, went to Service Merchandise, which I don't even know if they have those in Canada, but it's a department
Never heard.
store.
No.
Went and bought a $200 set of clubs. And my freshman year in college, I probably played more rounds of golf than I went to class.
So
just fell in
once
love with
one,
it.
yeah, you just had never tried it till then.
Yep.
That's wild.
Went out and friggin' played first time and just,
If
That
your
was hard.
parents don't put you into it though, it's pretty hard
Yeah.
to play as a kid.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like I've
Yeah,
been
I mean-
taking Zoe and Colby to like our cottage course there since
Yeah.
they were little buggers that like it's
Mhm.
not like a legit golf course.
Yeah,
that
but that's
it's
all
it's
you need.
perfect to learn as a child. And
Mhm.
if you don't take your kids and they don't learn the game, I guess, right? And then
Yeah.
like it can be
Totally.
expensive to get kids into, right?
I think that's the other thing too. It can be a little bit, but it's something they can play forever too. Like it's a lifelong, like I still go out and play with my grandparents, which is like the coolest thing ever, right?
It is. And
Your
every age
grandparents
group can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So
I think it's great you're doing the junior camps because those kids that get into it then, once you get into golf, it's hard to get out of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So good. You're hooked.
Yeah.
Okay. So Taylor, let's get into yours. Oh, I got back on yours. Okay. Growing up in Kincardine.
I know. What would you like to know?
Was it always golf then, right from the start?
So yeah, sort of. I mean, I played a bunch of sport. I played hockey and stuff too. Hockey, baseball, all the sports in school.
So you did play girls hockey? Did you have a team of girls? Because I couldn't believe how many girls are playing hockey in Kincardine. When I grew up in Elmira, there was hardly any women's hockey. It's amazing how big it's got.
Yeah, it's wild. I remember looking out on the ice and it was all girls out there, and I was like, I want to do that. And we came from Alliston. I was born here. We moved away for a little while and then came back. And girls hockey in Alliston wasn't like, I didn't see it until we moved back here. So it's like, I want to do that. So did that for a while and then was doing golf at the same time and then had to end up picking because I was either getting hurt or like you kind of have to pick one at a certain point and kind of roll with it. So
what age was that? Like, how did you know, like in Kincardine, is it not hard to find hard tournaments when like competitive golf? There's not that much around.
Travel. Yeah, you got to travel pretty much.
Same as hockey, right?
Yeah, you're traveling. I'd say 9 probably is when I was like into it, really, really liked it. And then about 12, 13 was like, okay, this is definitely what I want to do. But yeah, you have to go to the States, Florida.
Is that really what you guys would do that on weekends?
Yeah, like there's some great tournaments in Canada too. Like Canadian golf right now is booming with, you see all these, guys and girls on the TV too that are phenomenal. Like Brooke Henderson right now, I grew up playing with her. But you had to go either all over Canada or you're in the States a lot. Like they're,
so you're gone most weekends. And then, so I was curious what you do in the winters. Like,
my coach was in Mississauga, so I drove every weekend down to a indoor dome, literally, and that's what I did every weekend. So I can do hockey too, right? Because there's you guys know there's tournaments like I was missing every tournament, and then.
Well, if you're part of a team, you're a part of a team, right?
Right. So
that was one thing I always felt bad about playing for the Ripley Wolves was I was one of those guys that just showed up like come playoff times, and I wasn't really on the team where they were going to every game. And you feel bad doing that stuff, right?
You feel guilty. So it was like pick one, but I honestly think similar to him, like I really like baseball. Baseball was the one sport I played hardball with the boys, and that was the one sport that I remember crying, like giving it up because I really wanted to pick baseball, but I knew my dad was like, hey, let's think about this seriously, like as a female too, long term, which one
you can actually,
which one do you actually like more, but which one do you think truthfully you can see long term? And
this is at 9 years old.
Yeah.
Which is like, I literally remember sitting in that bedroom with dad and he was like, pick whatever you want, but I think you already know the answer. So, which I think we probably chose, right? So
yeah. It looks like it's all turned out okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do I got here? Trying to think.
Notes?
So what about those the screens? Like you hit the ball in the screen. If they would have had that, would you drove all the way to Mississauga to see a coach?
Yeah, I still would have. Yeah, I would still. I mean, those are great. And like that wasn't anything up here. Like nowhere here had those when I was going through that, but I think going to see my coach was half of it, fine tuning stuff and swing changes that you do through the off season, right? That's when you're making your changes and stuff before the season. So I still think I would have went. So
I don't think I've ever really had a golf court coach. I just grab the club and swing. Other than like when I went to the junior camps at the Elmira golf course, right? Like there would have been the pro out there helping you and teaching you the right grips, and then that sticks with you the rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
You get rid of the baseball grip and you hold it correctly, and then
gives you a good foundation.
That's why junior camps are fun, right? Like you get to work with them and it's stuff that hopefully they remember. So we better not screw them up. So
well, I would say, because I say really nice things to people that come to my shed, is I think the kids of Kincardine have the perfect 2 people teaching them the game. I've seen it when I show up at the course. You guys are great with every kid. You know every kid's name. You know everybody. I couldn't be happier with who's teaching my kids golf. So thanks. I get nervous
It's
saying
so
nice things to
fun.
people. I'm not used to it. I like chirping people way more.
Why are my hands sweating right now?
Never say anything nice to you again.
Um,
So then after you're 9 years old, then you're full golf. So you're basically there is an off season, but you're still driving to Mississauga.
Yeah, like that was pretty much on the weekend because I was in school, right? So I would say I didn't start driving there though till I was like 13, 14, 15. Like it wasn't at 9. 9 was when it was like, okay, I'm in this more and like let's invest in some better clubs and the whole thing. But so yeah, we just started on the weekends and then did school, and I did school sports and stuff. Like I did volleyball, basketball, and all that kind of stuff. Which I feel like helps golf too. I think it's important to be well-rounded, not just
You need to be an athlete.
only one. And that was one thing after getting recruited. And my coach was like, that's what we look for, is not just, one sport athlete. Sometimes it works out that way and that's all they've ever done. But I think being well-rounded is important too. And that's not even just to say sports either, like whether that's music or whatever else you have going. Mine just happened to be all different sports. I never played an instrument. My friends think that was awful.
I'm like Chuck, I'm a dancer too. I didn't play any instruments.
Oh yeah. Twinkle toes over here.
But I think it's important to play other
Yeah.
sports. And I think it's important also to get a break from the one you're doing like competitively all the time, because
Yep.
you need to be excited to do it, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Play
Yeah, it
golf
was-
every single day. It's hard to get up for it,
No.
right?
Yeah, that's why it was fun to drive to the
I hardly
game,
ever
like,
get
'cause
to
it was-
play, so I am so
Yeah.
excited. June 25th.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I know the snow needs to beat it.
There will be a day where I'll have a membership and I'll golf at your course all the time, but that just isn't yet.
I know.
I'm parenting at the moment and
Kids.
and shedding.
And
A
shedding.
few more thousand podcasts and you're there.
Yeah. Okay. What I'm gonna ask Chuck, what's the nicest golf course you've ever played at?
Ooh,
Cool.
what are you?
I'd probably say I played Muirfield Village in
Oh,
Columbus, Ohio, Dublin, Ohio, Jack's Place, where they play the Memorial every year. And that was,
Mhm.
we actually played, my best friend lives there. And we played with him, and then a friend of his, and Taylor and I went up and played.
It
It was
was
freaking,
unreal.
So that was right by
Absolutely.
Columbus, Ohio.
yeah,
Mhm.
Dublin.
So
just
I guess
north.
since this is a hockey podcast, the way I can tie that in is
Yes.
that the only NHL training camp I went to was with the Columbus Blue Jackets,
Okay.
and they let me stay there for exactly 48 hours until they could cut me and then sent me home.
There's some friggin' unreal golf in Columbus.
I did not have time to golf. They cut me
I know,
way
man.
before
I
don't
that.
play.
They sent me
Yeah.
down way
There's so
before I
many
could
good golf
golf.
courses in Columbus.
Yeah.
It seemed like a nice city. I don't know. It seemed all right there,
Yeah.
eh?
I liked
Taylor,
it.
what's your favorite course?
That was gonna be also what I said. I've also played TPC Sawgrass, so it was super
Jeez.
nice too. You played there a bunch too. So, but I'd say honestly, Muirfield was awesome. It was also with him and his best friend, who was a groomsman in our wedding, so it was extra special. I played TPC with the OU team, so that was also very cool. But
So is it just the landscape, or is it like what
just
is
like
it? The way
it's
it's
just
manicured?
perfectly manicured.
Oh,
it's
it's
just like, do they
not
cut
a
the
blade of
grass
grass out
with
of
scissors?
place.
Like literally perfect. Yeah. Yeah,
That
it
would
was
be
awesome.
exhausting as a grounds crew, because I've been on the grounds crew. Would it not have to be about what kind of grass it is too?
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
all
it's
bent.
there. Yeah.
Bent, eh?
It's also about budget when it comes to ground
Yeah.
crew.
How
too.
often you
And
cut
their-
the grass, right?
and their budget's probably about as high as any
Yeah.
golf course in the United States. So
Yeah.
Right. So you would have had to know someone to get in there then. Is that how it works?
yeah, like it's big time membership. And fortunately, like my buddy, like I said, has a good close friend of the family that's a member there. And so he was able to get us on. It was,
It was awesome.
yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Okay. Back to your golf, Taylor. How did
Okay.
you get recruited to Oklahoma? Because I know the ranks in Elmira,
Yeah.
like Garrett.
Yeah.
I grew up with him and Kyle, his brother, and they were really good at golf and they didn't get that much exposure, but I guess they weren't traveling to the States on weekends.
Yeah, on weekends.
That's the biggest thing I would tell anybody is that you have to travel for coaches to like find you or know about you, unless you're like the next Tiger Woods where everybody knows you. That's, typically not realistic. So you're going to have to put yourself out there. So I played a ton, and like my schedule was predominantly in the States, which my family, my parents obviously supported and financially, took me everywhere. So I got, I guess, the attention of OU coaches, and then played in the US junior and played really well. And they followed me the whole time. And then pretty much after that tournament they offered me, and there we go.
Pretty big day when you get offered for a D1
Yeah.
scholarship, isn't it?
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
Still remember that day, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I remember like my voice was cracking on the phone. I was sweating, just like, oh, it was truly like the best day. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember dancing in the kitchen, my parents' house, when the coach called me from Western Michigan, and we sealed the deal. And I danced. Never danced against Chuck before, but I did. Okay. So Chuck, then you got right into the golf industry then right out of university, or did you get into it when you learned you loved it freshman year?
Yeah, when I started, I was bartending and had a good friend who was the merchandiser at Stony Brook, the first course I worked, and said, "Why don't you come clean carts and clean clubs? You'll make just as much money as you will bartending, and then you get free golf." And I was like, "Free golf? All right." He had me at free golf.
Yeah.
So I started scrubbing clubs and picking the range and cleaning carts and whatnot. And that was dating myself, obviously. Well, you already told my age, so everybody already knows I'm an old bastard. So that was in 1999. I graduated high school. 2000 was fall of 99 was my first year.
You realize I'm not much younger than you, right?
Yeah, I know.
I'm right there, bud.
So.
Right there.
Okay, so then that's how you got into the golf industry. So then you worked at Stony Brook. I got the research team found all this. Ritz-Carlton, the Innisbrook Resort. So was it mainly the same position at all those courses, or were you working your way up?
No, at the Ritz was my second job, which that's where they have the PNC father-son every year that Tiger and Charlie play in, and all of the father-sons. That's the one in Orlando. It's a pretty cool resort. I was the tournament coordinator there. So there had 2 hotels. We had groups anywhere from 100 to 1,000 golfers that would come in for a week.
A bit bigger deal than June 25th that day.
1,000 people checking in.
We got 4 groups so far, folks.
Yeah. 16. Hey, we take 16 players too.
No.
So yeah, I just did all the tournaments and events and ran all that and organized it and whatnot with the contacts from the groups. And then at Innisbrook, which is where they have the Valspar Championship, another PGA tournament, I was the head professional at 2 courses there, and just kind of day-to-day operations and whatnot there.
You were the head professional. That's one of my questions. How do you become a PGA pro? Do you have to,
Well,
do you not have to shoot a certain score?
Yeah, you have to take it's called player's ability test, and you have to shoot it's usually like 155-ish. So you have to shoot like 77, 78, 36 holes in one day. So I took that and did that. And then back when I went through the PGA, there was 3 different levels of book work that covered everything from food and beverage to maintenance to club repair to merchandising to you name it. And it was about 1.5 to 2 years to do each level between book work, testing, blah, 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 blah. And so it was about a 5 to 7, 8 year process and pretty expensive. So I just kind of worked through that. As I was working at these courses. And then once you become a Class A pro, then most courses will recognize that as somebody who's ready to be if you have some experience behind that, then
so that basically means you like run the golf course almost, right? If you know all
essentially.
that.
Yeah, you're the manager and you get to deal with all the bullshit.
I always was thinking when you're a PGA pro, it's all about the score and the playing, but there's way more to it, eh?
Well, there's professional golfers and there's golf professionals,
Yeah.
which are night and day different.
Yeah, I got you. Now I get it.
But a lot of golf pros can play. Like,
Yeah.
you know, they're actually, it's on this week. They just played second round today. It's PGA professional championship.
Yeah.
And it's the best of the guys who are club pros or directors of instruction or directors of golf or head pros, whatever.
Yeah.
And they get to play, and the top 10 guys actually get to play in the PGA championship.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very cool.
What I was gonna say though is it's like in hockey, there's guys that can like play, and then there's people that can coach and run stuff, right? It's two
Yeah.
different people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good hockey players I would never want to coach a team, you know?
Very true.
Okay, so Taylor, when you get to Oklahoma, American
Oklahoma.
how do you say it?
Boomer
you
Sooner.
said it good. You said it good.
Okay, well, how was it like going to there from Kincardine? Because that's a bit different. I know I had a bit of an eye opener going to Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Yeah, definitely was like there was the accent was like the first thing. Got there and everybody looked at me like I had one, and then I'm like, no, you guys have one. But it's a huge Norman, Oklahoma, where OU is a huge college town. So you're it is a city. It like felt very big, obviously, to me coming from Kincardine, but you're kind of still in like a bubble because it is such a college town that everybody's kind of there for the same thing. And honestly, you don't have any free time at all. Like you're working out, you're training, you're practicing, you're studying, and then you're going to bed, and then you do it all over again. So you don't have a whole lot of time to like really get like I was in Oklahoma City a few times, right? Like I never even really branched out to go see how much more there was to it. Like honestly, we should go back and visit more because like I know my side of it as a student athlete, but I loved everything about it. I could have lived there for ever. I loved it.
It is a cool place.
Well, it's very much similar to when I went to Kalamazoo, Western Michigan. Is like you get there and you're so busy, right? And like it's crazy being a D1 athlete, and and then how much they make you work out is exhausting.
Yeah,
and then you got to go to school after the workouts. You're like, wake up at 6 a.m. and work out harder than you've ever worked out in your life, and then go to school all day.
And then go to school, and then like go to practice, and then oh wait, you have a night class too, and it's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You're just so tired, but you also like, I loved it. I still loved it. So
I was the same. I agree. Okay. So then, where should I go now? Hey,
or is Western Michigan the Broncos?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, he was the associate AD, Mike Alford. He left there probably, this would have been probably 5-6 years ago, and he was the athletic director at Western Michigan. He's now since left. He's at Florida State, and he's basically like the booster chair, but he was the AD at Western Michigan from OU.
Really? I didn't even know that. I kind of lost touch there while I was playing and gone, and I wasn't paying much attention. But now that I'm back, like they went away from going to the Frozen Four this year in hockey, so they were like good this year. Cool. Yeah, it's nice to see your alma mater. I think it's what it's called, right?
Yeah. There you go.
They're good now. Way to go, guys. So Taylor, what was it like then your first NCAA tournament? And does it not work that so there's a golf team, but then only certain golfers go to each tournament?
Yeah, so we would carry like 9 girls, I would say, 8 to 9 on our roster, and then 5 travel. So you know, on top of like the crazy schedule that we just talked about, you also have to qualify. So then you're going through qualifying rounds, which was like anywhere from 2 to 8 rounds, depending on how many your coach want to put you through. And then literally the best 5 go. And then if you play well in the tournament, then you're kind of exempt and you have your spot. And but
so if you just have a bad day, you're not going to miss a tournament if you're the star, right? Or how?
Like that's typically why there's multiple rounds and stuff. And I mean, obviously there's some coaches, probably picks and stuff. Like I don't know what, it goes on for them, and I'm sure it's crazy stressful, but qualifying was very stressful as well. But it was the tournament itself. My first one was in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And my mom flew in actually because I was so nervous. I had no idea, like, do parents travel, to these things? I had no idea. And got there and literally every person's parent traveled. And so mom was there and calling dad, like, you should have came, like, everyone's here. And literally from then my parents didn't miss one college tournament of mine.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
My parents basically went everywhere. They skipped Alaska and a few other places we had to go, but
Wild.
no, they
That's
put in
awesome.
some miles too. And
Yeah.
I guess it
Just
would
like
be without them. You're probably not making it there anyways, right?
No, because you need that like little hug from home too. Like it's been a while between, and
Well, they also got you the exposure, right? They drove you wherever you needed to go, and they were the ones that like got you in front of those other coaches.
yes,
And
100%.
you don't realize it until
needed
you get older, right?
And speaking of food, you need a good ass dinner after you're done playing.
That is one of my questions: is what do golfers eat for pregame meals?
Golfers eat for I feel like we always had Italian the night before, so, like very similar.
Just like hockey, eh?
Yeah, I don't know, nothing. Maybe ask male golfers.
Carb up.
Not
Yeah, I guess you guys would have had to walk all the time, though. That sucks.
always
Walk and no beer. Like
Yuck. Yeah.
Always walking. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay, so then Chuck, let's get back into you. Okay.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Why did you leave Florida, go to Oklahoma?
I was at Innisbrook at the time and got an offer. One of my best buddies actually lived in Norman, and got an offer from Belmar Golf Club, which is in Norman, private club there in Norman. Got an offer from them. They were looking for kind of a GM and director of golf, and it's Toby Keith, who's a country singer. It's his golf course, so it was a pretty cool kind of a cool draw for somebody that's kind of newly into being a Class A and kind of my own gig in a private club versus a huge resort. So I went up and interviewed, and just like Taylor was saying, Norman's an awesome city and the people were cool, and I had like they're not family, but who are kind of my extended family that live in Norman. And so I had, a kind of a base of people out there that I knew, and took the job. And
so did you meet Toby Keith then, or is he just the owner?
Oh yeah. No, he's a huge golf nut. Like if he wasn't touring or out of town, he was out there playing. Like it was his, he owned the course and it was his toy, but we ran it as it was a full on private club and ran it as such. But yeah, no, he was, a lot of his friends were members. He grew up there. That's where he's from. And he's a freaking golf nut. He's probably a 13, 14 handicapper.
I'm a big fan. Some of his songs are some of my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's good.
It's cool to like walk on the patio and all of a sudden you turn the corner and Toby's like strumming a guitar on the fire and you're like, what?
That'd be wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was a pretty cool experience. He actually was a pretty cool dude. Like we'd have karaoke night for like our members and stuff, and he'd get shit faced enough and he'd get the microphone and sing friggin' Ice Ice Baby, and then he
should have been a cowboy.
Yeah. That's where Taylor and I met. This is our very first date.
I was gonna ask because the shed loves love stories. What is the love story?
Just
beautiful.
Huge love fest.
So I had asked her out through, we ran a tournament for Toby's wife. It was a college tournament, and the benefactor was the OU women's program, where at this point Taylor was done playing. She had gotten her master's and she was helping out the women's program, kind of coaching. So I had obviously seen her in some of the meetings, whatever, asked her out. And I said, all right, well, let's go out one night. So we went to Remington, which is the big race. Remington Park is the big horse racing track in Oklahoma City. And Toby's horse was racing that night. My buddy, who we talked about earlier, played Muirfield with, was in town. And so said, hey, let's go on a date. We're all going up to Remington. Toby's horse is racing tonight. He's a big horse racer. So
yeah, you locked her down. You're taking her to watch your So pretty solid first date. Way to go, Chuck.
So we go to the horse track. The freaking horse wins. We all bet on him like crazy because he's I'm telling you, the damn horse is gonna win. So we bet on him like crazy. Everybody wins money. He's like, all right, screw it. We're going back to Toby Keith. I Love This Bar and Grill is a chain of restaurants in the States. He has one in Oklahoma City. We go back and he freaking gets up on stage and just freaking sings all night. Just everybody just shit faced.
This is one of the most ridiculous love stories I've heard.
Oh, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, you had her. Were you guys out slow dancing to Toby singing? Or
Absolutely.
Oh my God, I'm literally just sitting there like, is this like everyone understands this is Toby, right?
And you're just a small town gal from Kincardine, and then you get there. This handsome fella from Florida's taking you to watch Toby's horse run, and jeepers.
They're also casual about it, like, oh yeah, it's Toby, and I'm like, no, it's not just Toby. Like, this is Toby Keith. This is nuts, and yeah. So then after that, then you guys just kept dating and golfing. So Taylor, were you first time you golfed with him? Who won? I actually was the first time we golfed. Was it that Glow tournament?
I think it was.
So we played. That's what's funny is we played a Glow golf tournament at Belmar at Toby's course. And that was the idea for when we bought Ainsdale, was like, hey, we have to do this Glow tournament. It's awesome.
It was
and
awesome,
it was my first time ever doing Glow golf. It is way different. Your depth perception is gone. That's what I remember thinking is you can't tell. I have really bad eyesight to begin with. You can't tell how far away from the ball you are. So I'm like trying to hit a 5-iron and I'm like, like how far away am I? You're chunking. Like, at least I'm chunking stuff, thinning stuff. I'm sure he probably did. I had no idea what I was doing.
I'm doing that shit when I can see the ball.
Oh my God. But it was like the most fun thing ever too. Cause like you're playing Glow golf and you pull it to the clubhouse and Toby Keith's playing Glow golf and the same thing as you. And you're just like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
So it was awesome though. Hence why we do Glow golf at Ainsdale.
Makes sense. And it is a great time.
Yeah.
But then when you suck at golf and you can even lose the balls that glow, then they're
that's an accomplishment.
Yeah, they're $5 a pop. I think I lost
those things are unlosable.
I thought so. You do have water on the course, you know.
Yeah, I guess that's where the one place you can move.
Yeah, sure. You got me there.
Yeah.
Shoot. Okay. So then that's an interesting story. So then we'll get back into the Sooners then if we stay on the timeline. You went to the national, whatever it's called for golf, the finals, right? So that's cool. How many golfers are in that?
I knew you were gonna ask that.
I shouldn't have asked it if you don't.
I know, and that's embarrassing. I feel like I should know that. I feel like there's 16.
Yeah, 16.
I feel like there's 16 of 5 girls at each. So there's like the team championship and then there's the individual championship too. Which, not to say you don't want to make it as an individual, but obviously the goal is to make it as a team, and then you can still compete and win individually while you're also playing on the team. So which the year that we went and finished, oh God, you probably have it in front of you. I can't remember.
You won one year. You guys won it.
And the year that I went to Tennessee, my teammate won the individual title too, which was really cool. And it was at Vanderbilt's course, and it was awesome. And yeah, I want to say there were 16 teams. The format's changed a little bit now. Now it's
yeah, because there's 4 regionals, 4 teams.
Yeah, it's televised and everything now, which is really cool. And it's match play now, where when I was going through it, it was all stroke play.
Yeah, that's a lot different.
Yeah, the match play is really cool though. I think I played one. We played a Bedlam match against Oklahoma State once, just kind of like a rivalry thing, just us. But that was the only time I ever played really match play for OU. Where now that's a huge part of college golf. That's how the men's and women's, is now. So yeah, very cool.
So match play though, like stroke play, you can have everybody in it, and then you pick a winner. So match play, you play a round, and then half are gone, and then you play another round.
Yeah, and then it goes. Then there is a.
Well, there's 5 girls from each team playing, right? So you match up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and whoever wins 3 of the 5 matches moves on to the next round.
And then
as a team.
I guess there is an individual portion now too, though. That is true.
They play stroke play up until they crown an individual winner, and then it moves to match play.
And I think that would be really hard for me. Is like match play I would like more. But I feel like I would take it more personally when I was losing, because I'm very competitive. And when I'm losing to one person instead of all of them, it would be really hard.
It actually is it's very different. Like your mindset as a golfer too is very different. You don't
Yeah.
typically play like that ever. So
Well, in match
Um,
play, right? Once you figure out you lost the hole, you just pick it up and like you
Yeah.
give her,
Yeah.
right? You're
Yeah.
way more
Exactly.
attacking, or it's
Yeah.
just a different mindset,
it's
right?
really fun to watch too, though. I can see why they do it, and it's televised too. I can see why it's kind of why it went that way. So yeah.
Well, the research team looked up a few things, and I saw you
God.
finished one time third in the
Oh,
Alamo
in the
golf.
Alamo. Yeah,
That's pretty close to winning third place.
I
In a,
know.
so what? How
I-
would you lose by 1 or 2?
I think I actually lost by 2, and I remember my grandparents were there, and I looked at a putt on 18. I don't know if that would have won it. I still don't think it would have won it, but I think I shot, I don't know if it's in there. I think I shot 68, but my grandma shouted, I had a putt like 12 feet and it lipped out, and she shouted so loud, she's got false teeth. I hope she's not watching this. And they like semi fell out, and oh my God, that's all. Anytime someone says the Alamo, God love
That's
you,
what you
Grandma.
think about. It's
Yeah.
good though.
Grandma's
'cause
dentures on the ground.
The way I can relate that to the hockey guys that come on is there's a bunch of them that have like the mouth guard
Yes.
tooth that they would spit
Yeah.
in people's drinks just to freak them out,
Oh,
or they just be
God.
talking to someone and just like
And it-
pop it out. And then
Yeah.
it's just, yeah.
I can confirm I do not have any of those.
Yeah, knock on wood. I was lucky
No.
enough to get through it all. No mouth guard and all my teeth.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
I got lucky. But it is a different atmosphere than individual sports compared to team. Like
Yeah.
obviously you're a team, but you're
Mhm.
not a team because
know.
you're saying that individual won that tournament. She feels a lot differently about it than the rest of the team.
Yeah, it's definitely different, especially like from here. I never played, like, I had high school golf, but it was, 3, 4 other people, sometimes mostly boys. I had Brianna that grew up here too, that was the only other girl that was here kind of with me going through the same experience. And so like, it wasn't a team. So I'd never experienced like, what the heck is team golf? Like, what does this even mean? So you get there and it's like, you're trying to wrap your head around like, wait, what? But it's cool that you're like, you want to win individually, but then you're actually rooting on and support it. The dynamic at practice is cool. You're pushing each other so that you want the team to do well. So
Right. And then you get more exposure if the team does well, right?
for sure, which that year was really cool because the team did well. And then obviously my teammate won too, which was awesome to see. So
Yeah, no, for sure. I'd imagine she floored it because every time you win, you should floor it, right? That's what I always did.
there you go.
Okay, other question about the Sooners though. Did you not find US schools have a lot more school and team spirit than Canadian schools?
I know.
Absolutely.
A whole different experience going to
it's so
school
different.
in the States.
It's so different, and I can't say because I didn't. I just did high school here, so I'm not. I'm sure the schooling here and the spirit stuff is great in its own way too, because I've never gone through it. But it just seems like it's on like this
It's a whole different level.
whole different.
Well, it's all
level.
about
it's just-
football
and tailgating and just like it is nuts. The literally streets closed for tailgating.
Yeah, like at OU, that stadium hold, well, now it's probably right at or around 100,000. And there'd be another 30,000-40,000 in
That
the
Are just tailgating.
vicinity that don't
Like,
go into the
it's
game.
crazy.
On game day.
It's
just-
awesome.
When it is all about football, I remember going to Western Michigan and they were like bottom of the barrel when I was there in the MAC division, and they were
Yeah.
still it was still all
Yeah.
about football.
Yeah, yeah.
And there,
I mean, I get that too.
my
so-
favorite days of university were probably tailgating at the football games before our hockey season would start.
Yeah.
They were legendary
Oh, it's
days.
the best. Those
Yeah.
are some of mine too, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So then that's when you're working at the golf course at Toby
Yeah.
Keith's, right? So then are you partaking in some of the university extracurricular activities?
Damn, Skippy.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
Damn,
not
Skip.
41 at that point, are you?
Yeah.
If I was 41, I'd still be there drinking beer, watching football.
Me too.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
It's
Oh,
friggin'
it's awesome.
like if you've never experienced it, you got to do it
Mm-hmm.
once. Like to go to the stadium, around the stadium, on game day, there's 125,000 people, and you go to a stadium that holds 90,000. Like it's electric. Like it's freaking nuts.
I could imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find it weird watching football live though to keep track of everything. It's almost easier on TV. But then I
Yeah.
find with hockey, it's the opposite. I find it boring as heck on TV.
On TV.
But watching it
Yeah.
live, I get right
Mhm.
into it.
Yeah, I can see that. It's super. I just remember at games you stand for all the games. Oh my God, my legs. I'm not used to this. I'm like, wait, we stand the whole time? Like, are you kidding? But it is like electric. So like you're into it, but like my legs are also dying and we have to qualify at 8 a.m. tomorrow. So it's like this.
So your coaches probably wouldn't want you there.
Yeah.
She was very much like, you guys can go, but like we're qualifying at 8. And why do you think we qualify at 8 a.m.? She's a smart lady. You
Yeah.
best not be out late now.
Yeah, if you want to qualify.
I love you,
Yeah.
coach. No, she was great.
Just got to learn to play hungover.
No,
Well, you know, play
Wrong
guilty
answer.
is what they'd call it.
wrong answer. Spider-Man.
I play best hungover.
Every once in a while, you got to test yourself, but in hockey, it's not that wise. It's like that night we're talking
Yeah.
about with Derek and you got in
Yeah.
the little skirt
Yeah,
kerfuffle in the crowd. That was exhausting. The warm-ups, because my family went for Thanksgiving in the US and for some reason I had to stay back for work or something. And I had a freebie night and I got tangled up with all the neighborhood fellas here. And the next night we had to play hockey and I was doing it
God.
voluntarily and it was really painful.
For
And
sure.
I
bet.
shouldn't have done it. Yeah.
It sounds
Yeah.
awful.
But you got to test yourself every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Push the limits.
The days are over.
So then when you're in charge or you're running that golf course, what all are you doing? How many
What are you doing?
employees and all that good
What are you
stuff?
doing?
Oh, I don't know. We'd have probably 30 or 40 employees, just kind of overseeing all the different departments. I'd have somebody, I'd have a chef. So I would just check in, make sure food and beverage going good. I've got a superintendent, make sure that they're in good shape, staying on, keeping budget, getting members joining events and, all that kind of fun stuff. Just kind of juggling act of all the different things.
It's
So,
it'll be a lot though, because I was thinking about what you guys take on just as a couple running that place. Like you got a landscaping business, you got a food and beverage business, you got the golf business. Like there's a
Good way to
lot to
put
it,
it.
right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's very much like
And
that.
that's where we were, like,
Yeah.
when we decided this, like, we're friggin' doing it now. Like, well, let's just get into business for ourselves instead of having a boss or, having a freaking, when I was working like for the Ritz or Innisbrook, and they're big places and they're cool places, but they're corporate. It's like, hey, I'm going to change this toilet paper roll and you got to get 5 people to sign off. It's like, that just, it wears on you.
It's a little different, eh? Yeah.
You're in business for yourself. You just freaking do it, kind of a deal. Just
Yeah.
make it
That's
happen.
like,
So,
yeah. No, I think it's awesome. And that's why you're my favorite golf course. It's a personal feel. You show up. I know most people there, right? Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
Taylor, I've sat down with your parents there. I was playing with whoever,
Really?
my kids, and
Mhm.
then they were at the table next to us. And by the time I left that,
Yeah.
we knew each other. And now every time we see each other, we say hi. And yeah.
Well, if you come any day of the week, any day that ends in Y, they are there.
Yeah, I had
So-
Chibi back there having his health drinks.
Oh my.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh,
Okay, what else do I got here? So then when you win the Big 12 as a team, does the whole team
Mhm.
floor it? Do you
Does the
guys
whole
get
team-
after it, drinking party?
No. So we no.
No, and
It was in Kansas. It was freezing. We were soaked. Rain. The weather was horrific. It was Kansas, which is funny. It was where we ended up moving to, anyways, after Norman. You win Big 12s, and then you have to go to regionals like a week and a half later. So it's Big 12s, regionals, and then nationals. So once you win, you fly home, and school's like getting close to ending, like you're in exams and stuff. So it's like fly home, write your exams, and then everyone on campus, it becomes a ghost town. Everyone's gone, but
Yeah.
you stay, and now you're training for regionals. So there is like, you're on a very, very, very short leash
Yeah.
because you're just so busy. There's everything, which I love. It postseason, it's the best. So
well, and drinking age in the States is
Yeah.
21 too. Most of them
So-
probably weren't even 21 at that point.
yeah, I'm trying to think. I was
So you
a
can go get somebody to buy some beer for you, but
Yeah, no,
you
you're
ain't
right.
going
That-
to the club that night.
Well,
Kronk and a
Western
club.
Michigan, somehow we got into a few places, but yeah, you wouldn't have the team support or the schools.
Yeah, I was actually a junior. I was one of the older ones, so they were all me and another one, and then most were younger. So no, I can't be in the club and then have a freshman be like, "What you doing?" No,
Mhm.
not a
Yep.
good look. So
Yeah, you got to be a leader. Yep, I understand. Okay.
okay.
Favorite hole in the world. I asked about the golf course, but
Oh,
there's a
man.
difference between course and best hole,
Oh,
right?
That's a good question.
I'm not sure if it's most challenging or the one you would want to play the most. You guys can decide that.
Man. Oh,
That's a good question.
that is a good
Okay, well then
question.
I'll start with an easier one.
Okay.
Your favorite hole on your course, Ainsdale.
Okay. What do you?
I tell you, my fucking least favorite hole is number 10.
Number
Your
10's
favorite
your
hole-
least
your fa-
favorite?
10, I fucking hate number 10.
Yeah, that's probably mine.
What's wrong? What's wrong with it?
Because I always snipe hook it out of bounds into the driving range.
Yeah, I've
So
been
now
out
I just
there
hit
too.
iron. I just hit iron off the tee now and just
See,
put it out there.
I pretty much hit iron off every tee because now,
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
big softie
Your
and I just hit
favorites.
irons because if I am gonna hit driver, I think I'm gonna go in the driving range, so I bail out and I
Yeah.
hammer it
Yeah.
onto the
Yeah.
18th or wherever. Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
hate it. I'd
Mine's-
probably say my favorite hole is probably number 9, to be honest with you.
Mhm. That's a
Oh,
good
I
hole.
thought it was gonna
Par
say-
5, yeah.
Yeah.
Water on the right.
I'm gonna say 13, which I know most people will not say, but for some reason, back in that
10,
corner, I
11.
like it. There's
The
it is-
big ass tree in
it
front of
is
the green.
long, yes.
Oh,
long,
that
but
one? The one with
Yeah.
the tree in front of the green that
For
it like
some
some
reason, I just love that. I've always liked it. It's so pretty back there. It's when it's like twilight and the sun's going down, and
Yeah, it's real pretty when your ball's hitting the fucking tree. and
Yeah,
coming
that's
back
why
to you.
it's like when
I
when
like
I be in the
13.
on the fairway and I'm like, why is there a tree in front of the green?
Yeah, I
I'm on
know.
the fairway.
And it's funny, we actually did a ride around today and I was like, oh, I don't ever want to lose this tree. Like, I love it up here. And he's like, if we ever lose it, we're moving it away from the green.
Yeah. Brutal.
I like it up there. I honestly, okay, so your other question, I feel like when I played TPC, so on TV, 17, the Island Green,
Yeah.
it looks really daunting. I mean,
it's
they're also playing in front of however many people. It's not a long shot at all. Like, it's a wedge, a flip wedge, and the green is quite generous. I don't think that's the hard shot. It's 18T that is, for at least for me, like, you're standing up there and you're just looking at water. Like, it's just water everywhere. The fairway is like beyond narrow on an angle with trees all down the right. Like, that was the harder shot there, I found. But everybody thinks, oh, it's got to be the Island Green on 17. But I mean, it's like 120 yards. It's not. But they're also playing under pressure in front of, like,
Yeah.
so it's
An amphitheater.
It's a little different than just me out there doing.
But
my own thing, but-
it is different, right? It's like doing a penalty shot in practice,
Yeah.
or you do a penalty shot in front of like 5,000 to 10,000 folks, and you're
Yeah.
like, gosh, there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That tee shot on 18, no?
So
No,
18
that's-
after the Island Green,
Green,
is
there's 18's like it's a dog leg left, and there's just water left. Like, you have to land it on a dime. Like, those guys, a lot of people miss right because you just bail out right and
You bail
avoid
out
the
right.
water, and you got the aggressive guys like Bryson, who's gonna try to hit it, 300
way.
yards or more than that, 350, I guess. But
Speaking of 18s, I would say my favorite golf hole is when I left Belmar and Norman, we moved to Wichita, Kansas for a few years, and I took a job at Flint Hills National there. And number 18 at Flint Hills National is probably my favorite
yeah,
hole.
it's a good hole.
and you were working at the course where it's got your favorite hole.
Yeah, it was pretty
So what
awesome.
goes on in this hole?
It's a par 5.
Water.
Yeah, you're kind of the tee box is kind of almost out in the water,
It's cool though.
and you really, really tight down the right hand side, and then water all down the left hand side. Par 5.
Sounds perfect for you. Sounds
The
perfect.
I really
clubhouse
like
was
the
a-
water holes, but I just suck at them. But I
Yeah.
like them. Like, they're my favorite. The ones with water are my
it's a
favorite,
tough
but I don't know
hole.
why.
Yeah. And then the backdrop is the clubhouse, which is a log cabin.
It's very pretty.
Clubhouse, and there's a cottage kind of off to the right that's a log cabin. Just the way the whole shapes and like it. Just the
Okay,
view is
so now
pretty
I'm putting a
awesome.
puzzle together here. So you guys were in Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You get the offer to go to that golf course, and is that when you become the coach of a university there?
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
guys move. So how'd you get the
We moved.
coaching job? So who was getting the job first? He
We
was
moved.
Chuck,
we
you were
moved
getting the
for-
job first, and then
Yeah.
you somehow also were able to get a university coaching job. That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
I guess we moved. I was fresh out of graduate school, I guess. You took the job, and I commuted back and forth a little bit from Norman to Wichita while I was finishing up my master's and he was working. And then I played a little bit of pro golf after for a while, so it didn't really matter where I was. I could have been in Canada, right? Like it didn't, well, maybe not. just
Holy
temperature
moly. I
wise,
better
could've been
speed up. We
wherever.
got to talk about all that still. You
it
played
didn't really
pro.
matter, to be honest, where I was. So we moved for him. It was a phenomenal place. Like, I think that was a job that for you, like it was a dream job. It was dream
Yeah.
job. Like the people were phenomenal. The place was phenomenal. Wichita was very cool. It was only 2:22-ish, 2 hours, 20 minutes from Norman. So we could have gone back for game days and like it was perfect. And then we had our son, Wyatt, in Wichita. So it's obviously a super special place for us. We got married in
Yeah.
Wichita. So yeah.
With the Wichita Thunder games all the time.
How
Tied
long
into
did you
hockey.
live there?
We were there for
Uh,
like a year, just under 2.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
So then when does the LPGA stuff and like the pro golfing happen?
Yeah, that was
Pretty much
that was
then.
in there too. I took the coaching job at Friends, was very short. I was pregnant with Wyatt. So we took that job, or I took that job and then had Wyatt and then went back after having him. And then that's pretty much, I wasn't there for very long. And then it was, hey, what do you think about him? Came to me and said, what do you think about moving to Canada and buying a golf course? And I thought he was kidding. And
Who said
Yeah.
that to you? You did?
yeah, Chuck said it to me. Chuck came to me and said, what do you think about, it was actually, I think he said London. What do you think about London? Or
Yeah, that
somewhere,
was
I don't even know. I think it was London area, maybe. I don't know. And I was like, 'cause
East
I
of.
think I said, do you mean London, England? And he's like, no, Canada. We wanted to get closer to family when we had we had Wyatt and we're right in the middle of the US and his family's in Florida. Mine's in Canada, obviously. We're not close to anybody. So it was tricky for holidays. We were always going to travel, which we would have done. Your job was awesome and the place was great, but would have been,
Yeah, but it's like Thanksgiving or Christmas. Do we go to Florida and see my family? Do we go to Canada and see versus if we're at one of those places
Mhm.
It makes it
and we just
easier.
go the
Yeah.
other way,
Yeah.
kind of a deal.
Yeah.
So we look both. We looked
I
in
somewhat
Florida.
know, but we're like only an hour and a half one way and
Yeah.
3 hours the other way. Like they are
But
different countries.
same
but
idea
yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just realized that I always forget to talk about stuff I'm supposed to bring up is my under 11 Kincardine Canucks. I know you guys help
Yes.
sponsor minor hockey and everything.
Yeah.
Is my under 11 Kincardine Canucks. This is a team signed game worn jersey. They
Very
wore it
cool.
in a 3-on-3 tournament in Lucknow, and we're
Uh-huh.
raffling it off to have the best under 11 shaker ever to end the year,
That's so
Beauty.
cool.
Yeah,
I love
so
it.
so far I think we've raffled like 58 tickets and they're
Okay.
available where you register for the golf tournament, folks. ailshockeytails.com. So buy
Nice.
tickets, you get this
Cool.
jersey, and there's also a Cardiff Devils signed Ailes Hockey
Cool.
Tails banner that a fella made for me in Wales and got signed by the team to raffle off for my team. So thanks.
Very cool.
Yeah. So
Nice.
Very cool. I love that.
anybody watching, buy raffle tickets so my under 11s can drink root beer and eat ice cream and have just a
Oh.
shaker.
Just
Beautiful.
a shaker.
Beautiful.
Just a big
The biggest game of manhunt ever, whatever they play, right?
game.
Okay.
Love it.
What else do I got here? So then, yeah, pro LPGA. So when you finish at university with the Sooners,
Mhm.
what are the pro options? I always ask that in hockey. How does it work? Do you have an agent? Do you just start going to qualify? Do
No.
you sign up to
Mhm.
tournaments? How does it work?
Yeah, no agent. I don't have any money to have an agent, so.
Well, in hockey, you don't have to pay them unless they do something.
Yeah, there you go. You just, yeah, you sign up for stuff, you declare as professional. So as soon as you do that, you gotta be, kind of sure that you're committed to it because you lose your amateur status. So,
What does
yeah,
that
you
mean?
just, you go, so now you're, I guess, registered as a professional, so you take money. So now you're accepting money as, prize money and stuff. So amateur events, you don't do that. So once you declare pro, you can't then go back and enter amateur events, obviously. So
So
once you kind of
basically, it's like hockey. You don't want to turn pro until you're ready, because
Like,
if you're
do
not
it when
ready,
you're-
it's
yeah.
not good.
right,
Yeah.
then you don't want to, you don't want to do that. So
Because then
some,
you end up in the
really
East
good-
Coast like me, right?
really good players that leave, same as, football and that they leave college, partway through and turn pro or whatever. It doesn't happen not even close in golf like it does in football, but you hear that all the time. So-and-so is declaring for the draft or, whatever. It's the same in any other sport, but obviously I waited. That's not common really in golf, to be honest with you, where someone's leaving. So yeah, you just kind of sign up afterwards and then hope you start making cuts and you're making money. And
So then
It
when you
grinds.
sign, so when you sign up to be a pro, you then
yeah,
sign up to go to whatever tournament, qualify. Who is
Mhm.
fronting the bill then to go to the hotels, the travel? Is that on you?
that's not, yeah.
So then
Yeah, so
you have to
it's-
hope you make enough money that it made the trip worthwhile.
Right. So then you have things like sponsors, and again, like my family was very supportive, and if you can get sponsors, that's awesome, because it's not an easy go airfare and hotel, and you don't have money to pay a caddy. So like you're either like it's a family member or friend doing it for you, husband, whatever. Because you can't pay. It's not like on TV where you got
You got the same guy every tournament.
30
that-
years. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
not like that. And you don't fly everywhere. You live out of your car and drive. You don't
Be
stay
exhausting,
at the
eh?
Carlton. You're not staying. I just feel like there's this like misconception with, oh, you play like pro hockey or pro golf, pro basketball. Like it's when you're first starting out, it's not like the glamorous limousine pulling up and
Oh,
driving
there's,
down Magnolia Lane. It ain't like that.
you're right though.
So-
There is a misconception that if you're
Yeah.
not in the top tier, right?
Mhm.
Like it's like the people, like the shed guys for hockey guys that come here is they're not usually NHL guys. They're usually a
Yeah.
tier below. And
Mhm.
to be honest, to my under 11 kids that think pro hockey is everything that they
Mhm.
hope it is, it's not always that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously, no, yeah. And it's like this, you wanna push them to like, work hard and chase your dream and stuff, and that's what OU was for us too, was prepping us to turn pro, and I would say most of us did. And then what you do with it from there is it's a totally different experience from playing in college, where you travel with a team and it's fun and someone's paying your bill and they take you to fancy steakhouses for dinner and all
And they
of
pay
that.
for your coaches and all that.
And all of that, and then all of a sudden, the biggest thing for me was you're traveling alone. So now it's super lonely on the road. You're away from your home. We were like just newly engaged. It was not the life. I didn't love it. I didn't love it. At
I
all.
could see
So,
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
She
it just
missed me.
wasn't- I did.
Yeah.
I miss going to the
yeah.
racetrack, Toby Keith. Oh my God. It was just- I'm a huge homebody too, so it was a lot to be.
Well, I
Yeah.
haven't even brought this up. Like, speaking of being a homebody, is like, you guys never have to go anywhere because your house is right beside the golf course.
Yeah.
It's like the best thing ever for
It's a blessing and a curse.
It is true, yeah, it is.
But no, so then I guess I don't know how long we've been going, probably a while, eh? But I was curious then. So you're there doing that.
Yeah.
What was your best pro tournament, or like how, I don't know, because I don't know how it worked, but like how much money was out there? Not enough.
No, and women's golf is even another notch kind of below it. There's not a whole lot of money in it, to be honest. If you're not playing on the LPGA tour, then it's hard. It's truly hard to make a go of it. Even the girls that got their tour cards, so you play in the Symetra Tour, which is now the Epsom Tour. The top 10 money winners get their tour card, and so then they graduate and they move to the LPGA. So those 10, like even them, like their money, it looks like, you can look it up online, however much they've won per year. It looks like a lot. You're like, holy smokes, that's awesome. But then you don't see the things like airfare and hotel and clubs and meals and all of this stuff, entry fees and everything that like you're lucky, like if you're like breaking even, like
Yeah, they'd make 80 grand would be the
it's-
top money earner on the Symetra
and
Tour.
they are the top ones too, have some pretty good sponsors too, but it's not the same as, you know, Brooke Henderson on TV and Stacy Lewis and all these girls that, you know, you think, oh, it must be like kind of the same. It's not. No, it's not.
Yeah.
So
No.
I honestly don't even know what my best one was. I feel like I was in Arizona, maybe. And the one that my mom caddied for me at. My mom caddied.
Yeah.
Well,
My mom caddied for me.
Well, and the interesting thing though is like the AHL, the East Coast, it's the same thing in hockey. Like people
Mhm.
think it's whatever,
Mhm.
but like come the end of the day, you don't bring home that much. And then by the
No.
time you're 30 and everybody
Yeah.
else is 10 years into their career,
Yeah.
and then you're like, okay, now I'm done. And you don't really have anything to show for it. And you're like, huh,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah. And I think too, like I've always said, not to just talk about being a female golfer, but like you want to have kids too.
Yeah.
And we were engaged and planning a wedding and stuff, and I knew that we wanted kids right away. And so female golfers have to like factor that into, even the ones that are, you know, the top in the world have to factor in, okay, what's this going to look like? Stacy Lewis had a baby, which her husband was my assistant coach at OU. So she had a baby and is now back playing on the LPGA Tour, which is just like crazy, unbelievable. That I just think sometimes Jordan Spieth just won this weekend, and like his wife goes out with their baby boy, like he's able to still play
What with all
while
that
he
going
has
on. Yeah.
I don't even know how old he is, 4 months or whatever, at home, because she's at home, right? So like
Yeah.
when you're the one that's actually giving birth. So I knew that, okay, I wanted kids pretty much. We wanted kids right away. So I was like, I don't know if I love this lifestyle enough to like put myself through this and kind of be unhappy. I love golf, don't get me wrong. It's just, it was everything else about it that was not my favorite thing. So
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. Okay. Chuck.
Yes.
present.
Present.
Sorry for making you sit there so long. Okay. I had a lot of
No, that's
questions.
great.
Okay.
I'm great.
So when you have, I would say, a dream job, how do you come up with the idea? Why don't we buy a golf course in Canada?
Well, like I said, you get
Was it changing the toilet paper rules and you had to get 5 sign-offs?
I was a little pissed off about the toilet paper.
I would
yeah.
be too. And shout out to Superheat and everything they've done for me out of hockey, because you know it was a struggle for me out of hockey, and I met the right people and I got in with them, and they've been great to me, and I think I've held up my end. So thank you for
awesome.
helping me make Kincardine home, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
No, you just get tired. I mean, at a certain point, you're doing it, and you think, could I just be doing this for myself? Like, why am I working for the man, and why am I, why do I need a boss if I can be my own boss, kind of a deal? And that's kind of, I'm just wired that way, to be honest with you. I've always kind of been driven to like make the next move and make the next step, and to me, naturally, that was the next step, to just say, and like I said, we were getting married and getting ready to have a family, and we wanted to get closer. So we looked in Florida, and I looked here, and there was actually a course, I can't think of the name of it for the life of me, but east and south of London. And it was for sale, and it was a mom and pop, kind of a place. So I said, let's scout it out. Let's look at it and see if it's even a possibility. And actually some of her family went down and played it. We were living in Wichita at the time, so they went and played it. Hey, tell us if the golf course is a shithole or not. Tell us if the clubhouse is nice. Tell us what, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And at that same time, the owners of Ainsdale were 30 years in, and they were kind of getting ready to retire. So I just said, let's call them and see if they want to sell, and just talk to them. And it was fast. It was very fast.
We
started talking about it in like
but when it comes to real estate or businesses or buying and selling, things happen fast, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I know I brought it up already, but like me and the old man went out for dinner with the kids on Friday night, and I was like, we discussed, I'm like, I think this could be the right time. And he's like,
Mhm.
mother and
Go.
father would love to sell. And I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, then let's do
Yeah.
it. And then we called Derek the next day, and next thing you know, it's going to be up Friday.
Yeah.
It happens
It'll
fast.
probably be sold Friday.
Yeah, probably.
Well, we're gonna hold offers for a week. Derek says he's the professional. We'll follow him,
All
right?
Yeah, whatever he says
Mr.
goes.
Riggier.
But yeah, it does happen fast, eh? So then
Does,
all of a
yeah.
sudden, like, so when you come up with the idea, you call them, they're into selling, then things start happening.
Yeah, I mean, it was like end of August, maybe
Yeah, like
beginning of September.
we had just had Wyatt when we started, like, okay,
Yeah.
which he was August 9th. So it was like right after that we were
Is
Thinking
this
about it,
what,
and-
2016, 17? What is it?
End of 16, yeah.
So we're all moving here around the same time then. That's when I
Yeah.
was done
Yeah.
hockey.
mhm.
So we
Because-
flew up, we talked a couple times on the phone, figured out that are we both even in the ballpark? Is it worth chasing down? Yep. Flew up here, met once.
Halloween weekend. We
Yep. Came back another time and said done deal. And I think we signed the paperwork on
January 17th.
January 7th.
17th.
Oh, well, either way, that whatever day, if it's the 7th or 17th.
17th.
We'll look it
We
up
might have
after
to look
this,
this up.
so
This is gonna be.
No, but
competitive.
like it really
Oh,
is
no.
exciting times, right? Like
Yeah.
that you guys own a golf course and are doing that. Like, I mean, I know you got a lot on your plate and it's a lot of work. And I guess maybe that's why after 30 years, the other couple were looking to get out, right?
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah, for sure. Like that's a long time too. In 30 years at a place is crazy. So I can see, I'm sure that will also be nice.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, but like I wasn't from here. I came to
Mhm.
Cottage, but like
Mhm.
I always grew up going to Ainsdale. I
Mhm.
always was right here at Bruce Beach, going to
Yeah.
Ainsdale and golfing there.
Cool.
And I think it's a great course, and that I know the owners is cool, and that we're having a golf tournament June 25th is
Yeah.
cool.
Beautiful.
I know. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. And what else? Do I have anything else here? I don't think I do.
Look at you with your notes. You pretty much, boom, that was our whole, look at that. That's like, felt like our whole little life there.
Well, but then so you had 2 more kids once you got
I know.
back.
Yeah.
True. We were.
You weren't busy enough.
Yeah, we needed more to do, so we
So-
decided.
Well, and
We're-
so you decided to have 2 more kids and start having weddings at Ainsdale too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we're gluttons for punishment.
We'll just do all the things. It's good.
Well, and it's funny because I know you guys like, I can tell you guys like hosting
Yeah.
fun times, people having fun. And that's why you have the glow ball. That's why you have the different costume events and throughout the
Mhm.
year. And it's because you guys, and that's why you're into cooking. That's why I'm into cooking, is you want people to be in a
Yeah.
good mood. You want people to be happy.
Yeah.
And when you put out a good meal, people are like, wow, look at this. And they're in a better mood. They're having more
Yeah.
fun. And that's exactly what you guys are providing.
Appreciate it. I thought you were only one compliment. Thought we were done.
Well, I think June 25th, everybody's going to show up with great attitudes. And you got to register at aleshockeytales.com. And you also have to behave yourself when you show up, right? Because now these are the owners. You'd be disappointing if you, right? If you don't behave
Hey,
yourself.
you hit the nail on the head. I'm gonna be, the Mr. Stern asshole.
Oh, here we go.
We want everybody to have a good time every time they come out to our place, and
Yeah.
that truly is what we try and aim
Yeah.
for. But there's a line too, right? Like you can't.
And
like,
there
This
is.
is our business, and we have 3 kids, and this is how we put food on the table for them. So when
Yeah.
people come out and act like assholes, I'll be the first person to tell them.
And I'll
they're acting
agree.
Like an asshole.
Yeah. And I totally agree with, like, you don't mess things up when you go to golf course. You go have a great time and you have fun. And yeah,
Yeah.
And
Same what you
90%
should
of the
do
time,
everywhere,
that's how
right?
it is, right?
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people are pretty good, but there's always the odd encounter.
But no, it's been real. Like, you guys have lived around the corner from me for
I
a while
know.
now, and we're all very busy. But when you're locked out of time in the shed, you can actually get to know people.
There you go.
Beauty.
We're shedding it up.
And this has been another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with the I'm not sure the nicknames for this. This isn't a hockey
Ooh.
episode. So the Candlers, no, in
I know,
hockey you
there's-
might call you the Candy. No, it wouldn't be
Ooh.
that.
Candyman. The
Candyman.
Candyman.
This has been
God.
another episode of the Candyman, Taylor and Wally.